Hey everyone, welcome back to Draft to the Future. This is Ryan and Matt. Today we are excited. We're going to talk a little bit about the transfer portal, players we think should enter, players that have already entered that we're excited to watch. And then before that, though, Matt's going to talk a little bit about the current CFP rankings.
All right, so the committee just announced their most recent ones. It's up on ESPN's website. If you watched my video, you know that I felt Texas deserves to be in. They're out. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. But I'm glad that Ole Miss is still firmly in the mix in the playoffs. I'm officially rooting for Ole Miss. I'm not like angry at Lane Kiffin. I just want to see a school win against all odds, and I feel like Ole Miss is kind of in that vein. But the most interesting thing that I'm going to bring up is if you are convinced that Miami is out, you are not looking closely enough at the rankings. Bear with me. If BYU loses, they fall. Miami goes one spot below Notre Dame, and then how can you ignore the head-to-head? So in a world where BYU loses, Miami comes in, and I think if Duke beats Virginia, then the committee will move BYU down, look at Miami, and decide now that it's straight 10-11 with Miami, the head-to-head activates, and we put Miami in. If you feel a kind of way for that reason, look, I don't think Miami or Notre Dame should be in. I think Texas should be in. But with the absence of Texas, you got to let someone get in. I also think it's silly that James Madison. Ryan, if you chime in here, records in college football are almost meaningless.
At this point, I mean, I think it was Alabama just a few minutes ago or a couple hours ago posted a thing that they are changing their schedule, I believe, for the beginning of next year and got rid of some of the bigger games and threw on some cupcakes.
Why should they?
So, I mean, the CFP is telling you, hey, we don't care about your record or who, all we care about is are you at a big school and how good do you look while doing what you're doing.
So get the wins. Get the wins. Get 10 wins. Get 10 wins. Look good doing it, and you're in. It doesn't matter who you play. Texas, who only has 3 losses, and again, you can point at the Florida loss if you want, but I ask you, is Florida not better than any ACC team?
I would say they're better than a lot of them.
So then we go to Duke. Oh, they got 5 losses. No, they got 5 losses. No, they got 5 losses. Their strength of schedule, while not impressive, is still better than the 100 and something that JMU played. So, while I believe that records are meaningless in college football, records mean everything in college football because they don't care who you play. 10 wins, look good doing it. Now, I'll say this, like no group of 5 team can go 10-2 and really expect the same privilege. But any Power 4 team getting 10 wins has an argument. Now, they're like BYU, and again, the hypocrisy is revealed. 12-0, 12-0, 11-1, 11-1, 11-1, 11-1, 11-1. You'd be like, oh, this makes sense. 10-2, 10-2, 10-2. Oh, this makes sense. 11-1. Wait, what? What? Why is that 11-1 team different? And they're like strength of schedule. Okay, then let's talk about Texas. Let's talk about Vanderbilt. Let's talk about Miami. Let's talk about Utah, because the hypocrisy is so obvious. Now, in my opinion, BYU is already in the playoffs because they win this championship game. They're in. This is a playoff game for BYU.
Yeah.
So, I don't like rank them 25th. They're in if they win, and that's all they have to do. Now, the reason and I'm telling you this, the reason they're number 11 is they are the buffer between Miami and Notre Dame. And I'm telling you again, if BYU wins, Notre Dame is out. And if BYU loses, Notre Dame is still out. Because if they fall, you cannot have 10-11 Notre Dame Miami with the head-to-head win for Miami. I guess you can, because the real standard of the committee is, yeah, we like them. I wish that was a post-game interview, though. Like, why do you put Notre Dame 10? We like them. Why do you put Ohio State 1? We like them. Like, they are deciding who they like and then using data to justify why they like them rather than looking at the data and letting that inform who they choose. That is just so obvious. But the most hypocritical ranking is BYU is the only 11-win team not in the playoffs. Unless you're like me and like, well, they're in. Now, in my own rankings, I didn't have them in either, but I also didn't have I didn't have Ohio State 1. I got Georgia 1. I didn't have Indiana 2. I had Ohio State 2. I had Texas Tech 3. Now Texas Tech gets the bye week, so I don't really care. But I'm just trying to prepare you Notre Dame fans. You're being fooled. You're being tricked. You want Virginia to win. Mark my words. If Virginia wins and BYU loses, the ACC gets a team. Notre Dame can stay in somehow, some way. If BYU loses and Duke wins, I guarantee you Miami gets a Notre Dame spot so that the ACC has a representative.
I want chaos personally, like outside of the teams I root for. I want to see chaos. I want Duke to win. I want North Texas to beat Tulane. Mm-hmm. I want BYU to lose.
Well, I mean, if you want chaos, then you want Alabama to get dog walked by Georgia. But there's no planet where the SEC runner-up isn't in.
Yeah, they'll keep them in no matter what.
I don't care if they lose by 100. They are not taking the ACC, the SEC runner-up, because college football, just know where your bread is buttered, fans. College football is owned by the Big Ten and the SEC. They are not pulling Alabama out at all.
No chance.
So that was my 10 cents. Did you have anything else you wanted to add there?
No, other than that, no. I'm just excited for the games that get going. We do intend next week, even though we're live this week, we do intend on next week to come live and not only talk about all of the bowl games, but make our predictions for all of the bowl games as well. So that should be fun. I believe Sunday is when the bowls will be decided. So that'll give us Monday and most of Tuesday to kind of like go through the bowls and figure out our predictions, and then we're going to put them together so that way we can hold ourselves accountable and see who's the worst at picking them, especially since we won't know what players have opted out yet. So that'll be fun. But other than that, we're going to get right into our portal talk. So first person I'm going to talk about is a player Matt and I have both been tracking for a little bit now. It was just announced by his agent that he's entered the portal. I'm assuming he's following his coach to Colorado State, but I personally would like the 6'7", 335-pound monster of a tackle to land somewhere in the Big Ten or SEC to go up against the best competition he can. I like a lot of what I see in his play, and I think he has a lot of really high upside. So that is Ben Morawski. Hoping he goes somewhere other than Colorado State, but I'm assuming that's where he and the rest of UConn is going.
All right. So the next player I wanted to talk about, and I just want to take a minute to find. There we go. Jayden Denegal. Originally out of Michigan, quarterback for San Diego State. Jayden Denegal is balling out. if I were a coach, he would be one of my primary transfers. Now, neither Ryan and I are talking about Sam Levitt. He's probably the darling of the ball. Mestamaker's gonna get some notice. Jane Denical is a person I would target. He has a 59.1 completion percentage. His touchdown interception is a little risky because his big time throw rate and his turnover play rate are almost equal, and that's a problem. But when you watch the tape, the arm talent screams, the mobility is there. He's 6'5", he's 230, and he averages 7.5 yards per attempt. He definitely needs more time to develop, but if you let him get to a team where he can excel, he's going to do some amazing things. So that's the first guy I wanted to highlight.
All right, go ahead and hit another one, Matt.
All right. The next guy I want to talk about is Jordan Napier, the wide receiver out of San Diego State, right here. Jordan Napier is his running mate in San Diego State. He has an 82.6 receiving grade. He has a 6.7 yards after catch per reception and a 3.37 yards per route run. He has a 71.2 reception rate, and the dude, the tape speed talks to me. I would definitely, I'd want to get the quarterback and the wide receiver onto whatever team I'm building, and I would consider that a huge win.
All right. So next guy for me, Rodney Nelson, running back out of Monmouth. Just a casual 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns this year, which is just absolutely absurd. He's also very competent as a wide receiver. Anyone that has that type of production, you're done at that level. You need to go up and test yourself. So he's already entered the portal, and if you've entered the portal and you're a guy that has produced 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns alone this year, I really want to see him. I could see him going to like a Big 12 type school, or maybe an ACC type school where he could go and be a star for a team and show that he can play against a little better competition. I doubt he jumps all the way up from Monmouth to SEC or Big 10, but one of those smaller Big 12 or ACC schools would be really good.
All right. So one of my next priority guys I would talk about now, Jadian Thomas. It is not allowing me to. There we go. Jadian Thomas is undersized. He's only 190 pounds. He's only 5'9", but the dude is crazy. He's got a 52% breakaway rate. He has a 4.94 yards after contact per attempt. So I don't know what the future holds in terms of an NFL draft pick. Typically you need to be 215 to make it in the league. But what I can tell you is he can make a college football team better. And if he doesn't get into one of the Power 4 conferences, he won't have the opportunity to argue his area. Maybe put some weight in the offseason. We kind of see. Although at 5'9", I don't know how much more weight he's going to put on.
Who's next for you?
I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into Braylon McReynolds. He is – that's not who I'm talking about. This is Braylon McReynolds. Braylon McReynolds is also undersized, 5'7", 190. So, again, if he's that undersized, there's some room to worry about what he's capable of. But he also has a 4.6 yards after contact per attempt. He averages 5.3 yards per carry, and he only had 124 attempts. So breakaway speed is there at 47%. So not quite as dynamic a threat as Thomas, but he's still a back who has proven his ability to be a great change of pace person.
All right. So my next person here is going to be part of the reason that my running back from Monmouth did well is Shalik Hubbard, interior offensive lineman. He is 6'4", 325. He has played a lot of positions across the board for Monmouth in his time there. And one thing that I really like to see is I don't like to see a guy that's just good at pass protection or just good at run protection, especially when you're at a lower school. When you're at a lower school and you're someone that I want to see jump to the next level, I want to see that you are good across the board, and that is Shalik Hubbard. He's solid against the pass. He's solid against the run. I wouldn't say he's necessarily elite, but he's got the size. And his technique looks pretty solid in the little bit that I've watched of him. He's already in the portal. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe him and Rodney Nelson, the running back, go the same direction, but we'll see. It could just be a coincidence that they're both in there. But
I'd argue he is kind of elite. He's 82.8 pass block, 78.5 run block.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's small school guys, but you're 6'4", 325. Like, give a guy a shot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what position he ends up going to at whatever school, because he's played a lot of positions. So, all right, what do you got?
Let's talk about some of these North Texas guys. Ethan Weslowski might be. I have seen him consistently. If you follow me on Twitter, up until last week, I updated every week. I'm like, these are the guys who, according to my formula, are performing at the highest level, and Weslowski is on that list. With 649 snaps, he's got a 91 defense grade, but I mean, he's great in coverage. He's great against the run. He's solid in pass rushing. He's 6'1", 234 pounds. So, I mean, he's checked every box he can at the level at which he's playing, and I desperately want to see him get an opportunity at the next level.
All right. Who you got next?
I don't know. Let me look. Let me see what I got here. Let's talk about Eli Finley. Eli Finley is another guy I am screaming about. He might be one of the better, if not one of the best tight ends in football. Now, I will say this. He's got 46 targets, so he's limited in his attempts, but what he does with those 46 targets, 80% receiving rate, 78.4 receiving grade, 68.5 pass block grade, and I don't even really care about pass blocking if you're a tight end. The guy has no drops and a 58.3 contested catch rate. 6'6", 246. He has everything you want in the position. Now, again, I don't know a lot about these guys' athletic grades. I'm not as switched on when they come out of high school, but there's nothing to not like about what you can find just researching data.
Yeah. All right. So my next guy, I'm pretty excited about, actually. Camden Bird, edge out of Richmond. He is a guy that he's 6'3", 245. He's already in the portal. One thing that I love or that I look for is production at this level. You have to have production most of the time to translate production to the next level. One guy that I looked at this whole year was the guy coming from Coastal Carolina in Clev Lubin to Louisville. And what did he do? He just kept doing the same thing, producing. Now, Camden Bird has 89 pressures and 17 sacks in the last 2 years as a starter. That is absolutely great production. He also has four forced fumbles as well. So he's a playmaker. He's affecting the game pretty regularly. And so I think he's a guy that, 6'3", 245, that's, maybe a little undersized for an edge, but I am fine with that. And excited to see where he goes and if he gets a chance to perform at a higher level. All right, who you got?
So if I were a college football general manager and Sam Levitt's off the table, I target the San Diego State quarterback, I target the San Diego State wide receiver, and I target Ray Coney out of Tulsa. The guy is one of the best linebackers. Now, he's the best linebacker at his level, and he deserves to be at a higher level. 6'2", 240, 86.8 defensive grade in general, 71.1 coverage, 74.3 pass rush, 89.2 with a missed tackle rate of 7.3. He dominated. He dominated at this level, and he deserves an opportunity to prove himself at the next one. And of all the guys I've spoken about, there's one more coming. He is one of 4 guys I would pound the table for. I would go after. You want me to go ahead and get to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I might need your help finding his name here. Yep, there he is. Colt Dietrich. Now, he had first round buzz this summer. He is a tackle out of Sam Houston State. He's 6'6", 310. And the athleticism is there. Now, he didn't really shine in Sam Houston, but those tools exist. Like, people were talking about him for a reason. And he is the guy I would target to rebuild my team in a quick turnaround. And in this case, I'm betting on upside, to be fair. All the other guys, like, the data is there. I don't need to wonder what he's capable of. But when you're looking at tackles and they have that kind of athleticism and that kind of size, if you have an offensive line coach worth his salt, he should shine.
All right. The thing I'm looking at right now is looking to see if Monmouth head coach was going anywhere, because my next guy is again from Monmouth again. Josh Derry, the wide receiver out of Monmouth. Now, he is small. He's 5'9", 175. We have seen some people perform at that level in the NFL. He's a slot guy. Really, really good with a yak. He gets a lot. He's got a lot of speed. He's going to get you those yards after the catch. He's got 2 years in a row of 900-plus yards in a team that is heavily run. So they run all the time, and he's still producing 900-plus yards for 2 years in a row. So I'll be interested to see where he goes, just for his return game ability to potentially too. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get to a higher level school, go be like a return specialist that can, be that change of speed guy in the slot as well. So that's Josh Derry, wide receiver out of Monmouth.
Oh, there he is. This is the last guy I really dove into, but if I can't get the kid out of Tulane, Giancario Rufo is out of Georgetown, and he's 6'2". He's 230. He's weaker in coverage, and he doesn't have as much upside. He's still a sub 10 missed tackle rate. He's still a plus run defender. So he's already in the portal. So, he's a guy who, he looks good coming off the bus, and he's got data that proves he's got some production upside. So I definitely give him a shot, even though he's not like the number 1 linebacker on my board. Now I'm really kind of hurting because let's switch over to quarterback, and let's talk about Ty Pennington. He is the quarterback out of my home state, Northern Arizona University. So what I like about him, 6'2", 210, he has 8.2 yards per attempt, which is good. He's 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's good. 6.6 big time throw rate against a 1.6 turnover worthy play rate. And he gets the ball out at a decent time, 2.84. That's a lot to work with. That is a whole lot to work with. So, you get a guy and you think maybe, you bring him out of NAU and see what he can do at this level. my research says he is not in any way related to Chad Pennington, but he's got the right build. He's performed well at that level. Maybe I just take him from Northern Arizona and bring him into the MAC, and
Yeah.
that would still be an upgrade for him.
Yeah.
And then now sticking with the quarterbacks, and now I'm going to go down position because these are guys I just kind of looked at. Another 6'2" guy, those undersized, is help me with the name Bryce Schondelmeyer. He is the quarterback out of Dayton. 16 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, you like him?
Yeah. Go ahead.
16 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't need to say anything else. They got ball throws. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing for me is, I didn't get to see a ton of the film, but the data says that he really handles pressure well and he gets the ball out quick. 6'2", 200 pounds. We just interviewed a guy that came from Dayton, went to the next level at the MAC, and is doing great. A team that actually needs a quarterback would be Bowling Green State University. Maybe Bryce Schondelmeyer can head over to Bowling Green, join Gideon Lamprin, and tear up the MAC.
Definitely.
So definitely a guy I like too. Another guy I have here is John Lista. So John Lista, the linebacker from Penn. Quite a few Penn guys entered the portal as well. So John Lista is already in the portal. 6'2", 225. He doesn't miss tackles. Very, very sure tackler. And he was also solid in coverage, which you love to see. Especially if you're a smaller, faster linebacker at a smaller school, you better have some speed. Show me that you can cover at that level. And the thing for him too is he makes a ton of plays. He's got sacks. He's got forced fumbles. He's got pass breakups. So he's always around the ball, always making plays. And honestly, that kind of reminds me a little bit of why I liked Gideon Lamprin when we were looking at him coming out of Dayton, is because he was just always making great plays. So yeah, that's John Lista. Who you got?
The next guy I'm going to talk about, looking for his headline up here, R.J. Thompson. R.J. Johnson. He's the quarterback out of Florida A&M. So 16 touchdowns, only one interception. And that's off of almost 300 attempts. 4.1 big time throw against a 1.7 turnover worthy play, and a beautiful 2.65 time to throw. I like my guys to be 6'2", 6'2", 210. He's got the height, he's got the weight, and he is. I think he's a true freshman, so he's got a lot of upside as a true freshman at a smaller school.
Yeah.
The next guy. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I would say my last guy that is already in the portal, and then I'll let you hit a couple of years, is Telek Lockett, the guard out of Texas State. He only played a very short period of this season. I believe he declared for the portal really early in the season. I'm not sure why. But he's got a lot of good metrics, and I've seen him play a little bit last year when I was looking at some Texas State guys. And I've heard some of my friends that I consider, good offensive line evaluators talk about him before. He's 6'3", 327. So I'll be interested to see where he goes. I think he only has 1 year of eligibility left, so this would be like he's going somewhere to try to push for that next level.
All right. Sorry, I kind of stepped on your toes there.
Oh, you're good.
All right. I'm going to talk about Cameron Brown, the quarterback out of Georgia State. Again, like this is going to be a trend, 6'2", 225. 13 touchdowns, only one interception. He didn't throw a whole bunch. So that is something that I take note of. But he got a 4% big time throw rate against a 1.3 turnover play rate and a decent 2.71 yards, 2.71 time to throw. So wasn't asked to throw a whole lot, but when he threw, he averages 7 yards per attempt. So That's a very solid set of metrics. He's nothing screams superstar like some of the other guys I mentioned, but you could do worse.
All right.
Are you going to talk about Wyatt Young?
No, you got him.
Okay. Wyatt Young is the wide receiver for Messamaker out of North Texas. He's got a 92.3 receiving rate. Is 6 foot, 195 pounds. What impressed me most is 78.5 catch rate on 79 targets. That to me is more impressive than the splash plays. How do I do this? I don't want to denigrate another play. There are players who look special when they catch it. And then there are players like this kid Young, who I never have to worry about catching it in the first place. A beautiful 4.44 yards per route run.
Yeah, really like him. And you know what? Let's just talk about Drew Messmaker then. I am assuming
I think
when his season's done, he's going to enter the.
There he is.
Yeah,
he froze.
Okay, yeah, my bad. So yeah, Messmaker. I'm assuming he's going to enter the portal as soon as the season's over. His coach left. Have a feeling that's where he's going to go, is to Oklahoma State. Now, I would prefer he go to a even higher school like Big Ten or SEC. But if Drew Messmaker just wants to go with his coach, who was like, hey, kid who's never started in high school, I trust you, I would not be surprised and would not blame him. But, I mean, for someone that has such little starting experience, the throws he's making, it's kind of wild. And I really like his story, to be able to have the confidence and skill set that he already has. I mean, he's chucking the ball everywhere. I think he's going to go in and beat Tulane. So I would really like to see him transfer, and he's probably going to follow his coach, which his coach is going to continue to climb ranks, in my opinion.
Can't blame a guy for following a coach. Look, the Big 12 is still a Power 4 school. So there's some potential there. But I don't know if Iamaleava, the UCLA kid, yeah, I don't know if he declares or not. I think he should go back because there are people talking about him as a first round pick next year.
Yeah.
But you can go to Purdue and make some noise. But I'd rather, like, if I have to pick, I can go to the Big 12 and I got a shot on any team.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, or Indiana, I don't have any shot in the Big 10. That's just something I thought about.
Okay.
Am I going to yak about another guy?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll talk about Jackson Harris. I want to know this guy's story. Couldn't get on the field at Stanford, but then he got on the field in Hawaii, and the guy cranked up almost 1,000 yards on only 49 receptions. So he's got 19.7 yards per reception. That's not the same as yards after catch per reception. That's 7.3. So the guy is, however you look at it, he's a yard monster. And that is impressive for me. I don't know how a guy gets from Stanford to Hawaii, but he needs to come on back to the mainland and get back into a Power 4 school. The next guy I'll talk about, Dante Lee Jr. out of Liberty. His measurables are great, 6'3", 185. He's still 61% catch rate, which is solid, 52 targets. Now he averages 18.4 yards per reception. And that's not the same as only a 2.59 yards per route run. So he's a yards after catch guy. And there's room for that on a college football team, and there's room for that on an NFL team.
All right, so this next guy for me might be controversial. Jaron Sagapulatele. You hear that name? I worked on it because I know he's going to be a guy everybody talks about for the next couple of years. Now, a lot of people were like, well, why would you want to transfer? And I just honestly, he had such an unreal season as a freshman. Um, and I want to see him compete in the college football playoff. I want to see him compete against the best schools all the time. And so I'd really love for him to go to to a school where he can do that. I don't know necessarily where that is, but and selfishly, I would like him to go to an East Coast school so I can watch him a little easier, not to stay up so late. But I just think I don't know what else he could do there. He had such a great freshman year, and I don't see Cal going that far. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull in enough talent to be able to go that far, even with his skill set. So that's kind of what I want to see. I want to see him with some more talent around him and see what we can do.
So you and I are differing opinions. One, I think again, if I really want to go and have a chance to win a natty, and I don't have Georgia Alabama offer, is if I don't have a Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, Penn State offer, the ACC and Big Ten, if you're in that conference, you have a shot. So if not there, where would you want him to go?
Honestly, I doubt that Mateer is gonna declare anymore, but I kind of would love liked to see Oklahoma if he did declare. And it kind of depends on who leaves. I wouldn't be opposed to him maybe going to Penn State, depending on who they get to coach. But yeah, somewhere like that.
I'm going to be honest with the way they've been blackballed. Penn State might be calling one of us.
Yeah, right.
And hey, I'll take the job. I'm not proud. Oh, who's that guy? I'm the guy I'm the guy willing to work for them. I don't know. They look. It's not the NFL, but I mean, Penn State is a college football head coaching thing.
Yeah.
Like that's a very interesting position. Well, let's talk about Jace Freeman. Jace Freeman is a 6'4", 225 wide receiver. He's at a place called Stony Brook, which I didn't know was a college until I looked this up. 66 receiving percentage, 56 targets, 72 receiving grade, 9.4 yards after catch per reception, 2.4 yards per route run. So it's a little lower than I like, but 19.3 yards per reception. So those are a little bit different data, but 9.4 yards after catch per reception is it's a number that has my attention. I wish I knew how fast he was, but 6'4", 225 with that kind of yards after catch per reception has my attention.
Yeah. Who else you got?
Caleb Hawkins, the halfback for North Texas. He's got 4.62 yards after contact per attempt and 78 missed tackles forced. So this is a guy who knows how to run it. And unlike the other guys who I do love, I like them as change of pace college football guys. This kid's 6'2", 200. So he's got the build and apparently the contact balance to earn himself some opportunities. And he has an NFL body.
Yeah. All right. So I've got Marcus Buchanan, wide receiver out of Rhode Island. This kid's 6'4", 190. He's got 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons and 14 touchdowns over the last 2 years. I believe he has 1 year left of eligibility. But, he's put up a ton of stats at Rhode Island. I don't think he's going to go like from Rhode Island to like Alabama. But if you could go from Rhode Island to a MAC school, ACC school or an American school, something like that, where you can get a little bit more of a test against some better competition before potentially heading to the NFL the following year. I'd really like to see that. All right, who you got?
All right. Next guy on my tab, Jam Cook, running back out of Jack State. Let's see here. If you have 3 or more yards after contact per attempt, you have my attention. 5'11", 200. He's got an NFL type build. Now 4 fumbles. That's got to stop. That you can't have that. But he counters it with 15 touchdowns on only 276 attempts. So there's a lot to like. Although wherever he goes, like they need to know that he puts the ball on the ground too often, and he needs to work on that. But there's a lot of upside to work with there too.
All right, who else?
Nakaya Davenport. I hope I pronounced that right, but he is a USF running back. 3.79 yards after contact per attempt. He's already got an NFL body. 6 foot, 216 pounds, 6.7 yards per attempt. And this is a guy who's played Miami, Florida, although he only had 1 attempt in that game. He played the Navy, and he's played, there was one more school that they played that I thought was impressive. But interestingly enough, the guy has 602 yards on 90 attempts. He only had his most attempts in a single game is 17. Now, maybe the reason they are not feeding the ball more is he likes, I don't know. He only has 1 fumble. But, I mean, he needs to transfer because, like, he deserves more than 90 carries when he's averaging 6.7 yards per attempt.
Okay, so you're not necessarily saying he needs to go to a school that's bigger. He just needs to go to a school that's going to feed it to him.
Well, so there are some guys on my list. He is one of them. There are some guys who looked like they were top-notch recruits coming out of high school and they didn't get on the field. He is a guy who needs to go somewhere that's going to let him run the ball.
Yeah.
Now, like by all means, go to the best school you can, but he's too good to get 90 carries in a whole year.
I wonder if he would be potentially interested in following his coach, because wasn't his coach Golish just went to Auburn? It'd be interesting.
And
Auburn likes to run.
Imagine a guy averaging 6.7 yards a carry at 6 foot 215 running behind the Auburn offensive line.
Yeah.
That you could do worse.
Yeah. All right. So I've got Lorenzo Fenner, wide receiver out of South Dakota.
Home State.
Yeah, my friend Brian, who we hope to have come on at some point, recently was tweeting about him. He is 6 foot 185. The thing that caught my attention with him are 2 things. One, he had 14 touchdowns this season, which is a big deal. That's a ton of production. And South Dakota was fun to watch, but he also had a really good contested catch rate. And that's something I want to see wide receivers who you can trust. The guys that you can trust to not lose the ball are the guys that are going to get more run and more targets at the next level. So that's the guy that I'm hoping to see get another shot somewhere else. All right, who you got?
So I'm going to not only tell you about a guy, but I'm going to tell you where I want this guy to go.
Okay.
Greg Burrell, 6'1", 205. Find a way to get to LSU. They need help in the run game, and you average 6.5 yards per attempt. And in North Texas, they only gave you 91 attempts.
Texas State, right?
Texas State, my bad. That's a marriage made in heaven. 27 missed tackles forced. I always struggle, 7 attempts, 79 yards, 13 attempts, 136 yards. Now, again, like James Madison is a good team. Now, James Madison, I guess people are going to point at James Madison, but Southern Miss is a great team, and he had 95 yards on 11 carries. So I will say he ran a little hot, a little cold, but this is one of the guys where I'm like, I not only know I want him to transfer to where he'll get opportunities, but I know where I want him to go. I want him to go play for Lane Kiffin and bring a run game. And since I'm on the Lane Kiffin LSU thing, I want that running back with Lane Kiffin, and I want that to be where Sam Levitt goes.
Okay.
That's my dream scenario.
Okay. I have a I have a belief that I think Sam Levitt's coach is probably going somewhere, and it just hasn't been announced yet. That's kind of what I think, and I think he might follow him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that coach already said I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, did he?
I thought let me verify that. You want to talk about another guy, and I'll verify that
Yeah, yeah,
fact.
yeah. I'll pull up someone else here. All right. Let's see. Ooh, okay. This is a guy I really like. Mostly because I think he's going to be a huge NFL talent if he can prove it at the next level here. Jackson Blee, a tight end out of William and Mary. This guy is 6'6", 255 pounds. He is a very solid blocker. And I really love that he plays inside and out. He's not the tendency for a lot of the top tight ends recently. They're just they're big slots, which I have no issue with if that's what you're drafting them to do. But the NFL, there's a lot of guys that do really, really well by that can really impact a team. Like, um, why is my brain blanking? Your guy in San Francisco, uh,
Kittle.
Kittle. Yeah, Kittle. And so Jackson Blee, 6'6", 255, good blocker that has, plays in line and in the slot and on the outside a ton. He's all over the field. He can do that at the next level, in my opinion. And also, almost every target that is thrown his way, he catches. So I would love to see Jackson Blee go from William and Mary to potentially somewhere, maybe Big 12. I'd love to see him hop in. My Bearcats. If Joe Royer declares and goes, I'd love to see him go there. Maybe that'd be awesome. But yeah, that's Jackson Blee.
Yeah, I'm right. Dillingham, he said I was never leaving. I never said I was leaving. This is home.
Okay, so that'll be interesting. Then I have no clue where Levitt will be going.
Look, the Arizona State fan in me wants to see him. I want to see Sam change his mind if I could have him do anything. But if you're gonna leave, go there where you're gonna have a real chance to dominate.
Or if Dante Moore declares,
Oh, that'd be
pop on over to Oregon.
well. I gotta be honest. If Dante Moore declares, do you go to Oregon or do you go to where that OC just got the new job?
I'm never going to Kentucky if I can avoid it.
Because what's going to happen is that OC is getting a lot of credit for the quarterbacks he's been developing.
Yeah.
And so it'll be very interesting to see what that OC does in Kentucky. And I'm here for it. I'm here to see it.
Yeah.
Mekhi Frazier he's got an NFL build. His numbers don't wow me. But he's coming out of a Big Ten school in Michigan State. I think this might be a guy. Look, 4.5 yards per attempt, 2.7 Yakoe. This might be a dude. Like either he needs to get behind a better line, or he might actually. I'm going to phrase it this way: he might go to a conference that is a little less stout against the run. Even that's sounding way too much like what I really want to say. And I'm sorry, but when you're in the Big Ten and you're not performing,
well, he was on a bad team too, Michigan State,
and so that's the argument. So if you move up, you better go to a place with a great line.
Yeah.
Because what the data says is. And look, like Ashton Jeanty can't do anything in Oakland because he's got three people around him when they give him the ball. Heck, his quarterback tackled him once. Hmm. So, I get it. You need to go to a better team. But any change of location for Frazier is going to be an improvement because he's leaving such a bad team.
Yeah. Who else you got?
Another guy I got, a guy with no opportunities. This guy's name's Jordan Barnett, out of Shepherd. He's 6 foot 225, and let me see, is he the guy? He got no snaps. You have that kind of build and literally get no play. There's got to be a place that will at least give him a touch.
Okay. All right. So another guy for me here is going to be Thomas Johnson, edge out of North Carolina Central. He is 6'3", 240. So not the biggest guy, but he had 15 sacks and 59 pressures this year with a 37% pass rush win rate against true pass sets. So producing at the highest level you absolutely can at that school, like that's just those are unreal numbers. So I would love to see him, bump up to the next level and see if he can continue that, similar to what Cleve Lubin did this year. All right, who you got?
Lakota Dipri, the tight end out of JMU. So JMU has I'm saying there's a chance for JMU. 12.8 yards per reception, 6.9 yards after catch per reception, different numbers. So he's in the portal already. He is one of those guys who has a great build, but he wasn't like, it's not like he was blowing it up. But to be fair to him, though, and this is where it's different, he only had 21 targets and 15 catches. So 71% receiving rate, but only 21 passes went his way. He's probably just trying to get to somewhere that'll throw him the ball.
Okay. Who else?
Isaiah Butler Tanner out of UTSA. I'm not sure why, but he only played in 2 games. He got no targets and no receptions. And again, 6'6", 265. So my guess, and that's all I got is information, I think they brought him in to be a pass blocking tight end, and he's like, dude, I'm 6'6", 265, and you're not doing anything for me. So again, a lot of these guys are guys who have the right build coming out of the gym and aren't getting opportunities, and hopefully they will get opportunities somewhere.
All right, let's see. This next one, Dylan LaBarbera, edge out of Nevada. Now he's a little smaller at only 6'1", 248, so he's short and stout. And he's produced well at Nevada. And this was a based on production thing. The metrics look good with his pass rush win rate, as well as his sacks, and even in coverage, I believe. So I'd just really like to see him try a bigger school, jump up somewhere, Big 12, maybe ACC, take that next step and prove your worth. All right, who you got?
Anthony Boswell, the center out of Toledo. Now, normally Toledo, I'm looking at that defense, but 81.5 pass block, 78 run block, and this is on 402 pass attempts, only allowed 6 pressures. So he checks all the boxes and has proven himself. This is a guy who is clearly better than his competition. So let's get him up a rung on the ladder and see how he does.
Okay.
And in that same vein on the interior, Tristan Smith, 6'3", 321, 420 pass block attempts, 4 pressures, only 1 sack. So again, he's proven I clearly don't belong here. I am clearly above this. And this is in 2024, he looked good, but only had 100 attempts. In 25, they gave him more and he looked elite. Let's get this guy in the Big Ten. That'd be something I want to do.
You want to throw your last interior line guy in there that we haven't talked about?
Interior line. Let me see if I actually have him up.
I think it's Eric King.
I think I decided not to talk about Eric King. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. We'll move on then. All right, cool. So my next guy, let me pull it up here, is going to be, I spelled it wrong in here, so my apologies, but Deshaun Watts, that's an extra S, defensive tackle out of Sacramento State. He created some pressure. He wasn't the best in terms of that. I think it was somewhere in like the 7 or 8 range on the pass rush win rate. But he had an incredible run stop rate. I think his run stop rate was like 13.4, which is just absurd. That's not very common anywhere. So he's a big guy that can dominate in the run. So I'd like to see what he can do outside of Sacramento State. All right, who you got?
All right, then. Charquez White is someone. Let me verify what I thought I knew. Charquez White is a freshman. He's a true freshman, and he played in Troy. And you're talking about a guy who's 6'1", 190. He had 379 coverage grade, 379 coverage snaps. Now he's been got. He's allowed 5 touchdowns, but he's only allowed 58% of the receptions. So the problem is when they are caught, there's a problem area, and his tackling is not that great. So my hope is he can come in there and continue to build on his good coverage skills and improve on his 14% missed tackle rate. But that's what I hope for him.
Okay, next.
Hassan Sykes out of Western Carolina. He has a 49% completion percentage against him. And that's good. But again, like the previous person I spoke about, he's very hot and cold. He's allowed 8 touchdowns, but those only happened in 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 13 games he played, or 10 games he played, something like that. So he'll have a game where he's just completely locked down, and then he'll have a game where he's like McDonald's and he's always open. So he just needs to be more consistent. But if he can get coached up, he can get into a better program. There's some clay to work with there.
All right. My next guy is a guy that I know you're a fan of as well. Peter Clark, the tight end out of Temple. Big body guy, again, 6'6", 265. And this was really his first real year as a consistent player for Temple. And he was a great blocker. He did a really good job as in all facets of blocking. But he still put up nearly 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. It's very rare, I think, in college to see a guy performing at such a high level as a blocker, but then still putting up over 500 yards or near 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. And that was in a Temple offense that wasn't necessarily the greatest. Send him somewhere in the SEC or Big Ten and let him get more film against bigger guys and see what he can do, because I love the upside, and he's going to be a guy that I really pay attention to.
So knowing what you just said, small school guy transferring over, do you know what SEC team I want him to go to?
Let's hear it.
Book your ticket to Vanderbilt, kid. You'll be a star.
Ooh, replace Eli Stowers?
Yeah, man. And already based on my formula, he is 5, 6, 7, 8 in the rankings by my formula. That would really be great for him.
Yeah. All right, who you got?
All right, so here we go with another corner, another freshman, Quindarius Keys, 6'1", 180 out of UNLV. I got to admit, even in the preseason, I had a lot of love for UNLV. So I don't know why I want everyone to transfer, but there's reasons. He has only allowed 44% completion rate against him, and that's on 29 targets. But that's 29 targets on 219 pass rush snaps. So think about it. Like, he has a solid amount of coverage snaps, and they've only tested him like a quarter of the time, and he only completes, a percentage of that. He allows a 46 rating and only one touchdown, in those 13 passes he's allowed. This is a guy I think he could go to the SEC and make some noise.
Okay.
I want to do another one, don't I?
Yep.
So let's go with Elijah Reed. He is a big corner, 6'3", out of Akron. So he doesn't have the same kind of upside, almost 300 pass attempts. So, I mean, he's not awful. He has a 57 passer rating against him. So the good news is he's only allowed one touchdown, but I will say he's allowed more receptions, but he's mitigated it. So I talked about another guy earlier who almost never allowed a catch, but when he did, it was probably a touchdown. This is a guy who, yeah, he might allow more receptions than you want, but they're not going to do much after that catch. So it's kind of a pick your flavor kind of deal with these prospects.
Okay. Now the next guy, his namesake is great, Bo Sparks.
It's your kid?
Which, if you didn't know, that's my last name. He is wide receiver from Texas State. He's put up a ton of numbers. He's done really well, even against bigger schools that Texas State has played against. And he has really, really great hands. He's caught nearly 80% of his targets over the last 2 years, which is incredibly consistent at the wide receiver position. So I'd really like to see him go somewhere and maybe a little bit more dynamic offense with maybe a bigger quarterback, just so he can get the attention. Because I personally, watching him, I'm like, I can see him playing on Sundays, but I need other people to see that for him to be able to get that attention.
You know what I want to do? I want to start a career where I properly marry transfer portals, not just to schools where they'll get money, but where they'll perform best.
Like where you are like the person that like helps them find the right school to.
Yeah, I'm like a matchmaker.
Sounds like you want to be an agent.
Well, like, so look, an agent's job is to get the kid paid.
Yeah.
And his paycheck is a percentage of that money. So I can respect what you do and why you do it and how you feed your family. I would want my money to be like, no. I get paid by you if I properly guide you to not the school that will give you the most money, but the school that will give you the best pathway to shine at your position. Okay. And that's very different than an agent.
Yeah.
Jonathan, so another school, I don't know if the Southern Mississippi coach has already been poached, and Penn State, you'll take anyone at this point. So if he's not, you should look at him. But Southern Miss, they got some players, and Jonathan Penix, the corner, is one of them. Now again, he's one of those guys where, so here we go again. He allows 60% of the receptions, and you're like, well, that's not good. And well, no, it's not. But 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he's one of those guys where, like, you're throwing the ball, and your best case scenario is it's a completed pass that won't do much after that. But he's got 30 targets on 220 coverage snaps. So I would stop testing this kid. Like, I would not throw his way, but I think people test him because, maybe you get a first down or not, but that's a little rich for me. So I like Penix. I think Penix should think about Oregon. I think Penix should think about I love my friend Ryan, so I'll say that team up north.
You can say it now. We beat them.
Oh, you beat them, so I can say that. I can say the M word. I think Michigan would be a place where he would excel based on his coverage style and what he does well.
And I mean, and then going to a school like Michigan actually can even help you, though, because Michigan's D line is normally really good, so it can even make you look even better. So yeah, it would make sense.
So that would be that's my matchmaking for that player. Jamarian Kologbodi. And I'm not saying that twice. So this corner, he's apparently 0'0". So he's a Nat. He's a corner out of Delaware. His data is not listed. It's good somewhere because I don't. When I'm looking at these prospects, honestly, I start looking when their metrics are there, unless I've seen their production. But we have 225 coverage snaps and 80 coverage grade. He only allows 53% of the catches, 0 touchdowns allowed, 1 interception. So, again, he's a freshman. This is a freshman who came out and dominated. So, this is a young man who deserves a runner up. If I could recommend places for him, Texas Tech would be the Texas Tech. What are the other good D line, Big 12 teams? Come on, what's the other one? Texas Tech, ASU.
Mm.
Those are places I would recommend for him.
He's 6'175" according to 247 Sports.
Yep.
You got another one or no?
Yeah, well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got like 10 more.
Throw another one out there then.
So Daniel Harris, he's a guy who and check my facts here because I keep double checking them. I know he can go in the portal, and he's only got 81 coverage snaps. Is he already in the portal? I think he is.
I believe he is. Georgia cornerback Daniel Harris planning to transfer. Yep. 2 days ago. Yeah.
I'll say this. The story the data tells is he got cooked in Tennessee and then benched. And I think that's a little unfair because who didn't get cooked against Tennessee? Like you're mad Chris Broswell, and now look, to be fair to Georgia, this is a junior or a redshirt sophomore, but I think that's a little extreme to punish a kid for getting burned against a team that burned a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
And
they're chucking it left and right. So
yeah, and he didn't really get a lot of opportunities afterwards. So this is me making inferences based on the numbers I see in front of me because numbers tell a story. That's the story the numbers tell. That might not be what really happened, but it sure sounds like it. So, now Georgia, they kind of farm corners. They kind of farm defense. So I'm not positive on the rules, but, Ohio State's going to get 2 corners drafted this year. And I think they'd be happy to have a 6'3" corner who got SEC training.
Come on down.
Yep, that's my thinking. And then Ian Foster, the safety out of Southern Miss. Now he's shorter. He is shorter, but you're talking about 77 run defense. Now the missed tackles are a problem. So he's not a star, but he's reliable. So at worst, 397 coverage snaps. So you want to be mad at a guy for allowing 2 touchdowns on almost 400 coverage snaps? I don't know what to tell you. Don't make him cover 400 times in one season. What do you want from me? So I think there's some stuff there now. Don't put him in the box. So, I see him as a single high guy who can shine in coverage. And I think he'd do well there.
Yeah, the Southern Miss coach, I looked it up, was Charles Huff, who was the coach at Marshall and left because of some contract stuff. They couldn't figure out an extension until he went to Southern Miss. So it'd be interesting because there's a lot of good players on that team. So next guy for me here, Vincent Nwachi, corner out of Maine. Big outside corner, 6'3", 200 pounds. He was really, really great in coverage this year. And even though tackling isn't my priority with corners, he doesn't miss them, which is really good. A guy of that size that is performing at that well in coverage, I want to see him do that against bigger schools. So hop up somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be all the way up to like a Power 4 school, but I think he can handle it, and I'd like to see it. So that's Vincent Nwachi out of Maine.
All right. So I'm cognizant of time constraints, so I'm going to kind of cherry pick a little bit.
Okay.
The first guy I want to talk about is another Southern Miss guy, but he's Jamon Tapp. And he needs to go to Clemson.
Okay.
6'3", 275, 7.9 missed tackle rate. That's awesome. He has 10 sacks and 51 pressures. Jamon Tapp, like, go wherever you want. You're clearly better than anyone in your ballpark. You need to go. Now you know he didn't get a lot of ops in Texas. He got no ops in Arizona State. Get Miami, Clemson, get to one of those, dude, and you will shine. Honestly, Clemson, Miami would be dreams for me to get you there.
Okay.
And then who was the other one? I think I just saw him. Adam Trick. If Adam Trick transfers to a relatively good school, he will be my version of Cleb Lubin.
Okay.
6'4", 249, 63 pressures, 8 sacks. Enough said.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple guys left. First one, L.J. Phillips Jr., running back out of South Dakota. Dude is electric. He's short. Not, he's not the biggest guy. Let's see. He's 5'9", 225. Reminds me of the late Doug Martin, muscle hamster. Right? Just this little bowling ball that just annihilates people. He will run through you. And then this year in South Dakota, had 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns. And I'm sorry if you are putting up those type of numbers, you need to go get some better competition. Because I want to see a guy that is 5'9", 225 that can run like that. I want to see him go up against some of these bigger defensive lines and see if he can maintain it. Because if he can, that's a 3-down back.
So I did a lot of I dug into running backs. Running back, to be fair, is my favorite position in sports. Linebacker is a close second. The data says if you're 215 plus, that's all you need. Your height is way less important at the position than your weight. So I will take
has a chance.
I will take a 5'9", 220 kid. Well before I take a 6 foot 195 kid. Because you think about the pounding you take.
Yeah. All right. Who else? Throw a few more out there, and then I've got one guy left.
Let's talk about Toledo, because who wouldn't do that? 6'4", 255. Malachi Davis, 35 pressures, 7 sacks. Those are some really, really good numbers. And then a guy I don't want to forget to talk about, Owen Chambliss, another San Diego State kid. The guy has 371 coverage snaps and an 85 coverage grade as a linebacker, 6'3", 230. He's only allowed 185 yard receiving. So again, 371 coverage snaps, and he's only allowed 185 yards and 1 touchdown. And that's on top of a 71% pass rush grade, 14 pressures, 3 sacks, only 7.8 missed tackles. This guy's a dream.
All right, now this guy, I honestly hope he declares, and I think he very well could, especially if they get to go to the college football playoff and he gets to show off a little bit about. But I know you're a fan too. Shadra Hurst, interior offensive lineman out of Tulane. He's just an absolute mauler, and he has a wrestling background. I believe he was a Maryland state champion in wrestling. And if I see offensive linemen and then there's wrestling in their bio, I'm sold. But he's been a player that I've really liked watching this year, and I think he is going to be a long-term starter in the NFL without question in my mind. Again, I could see him going this year. Depends on what the league is, telling his agent on like the projections for him. But if he chooses to come back, I would hope that he goes somewhere a little bit bigger, just to get
coach.
Yeah, could do that. Because where's he coach from Florida, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty good place to go if you want to sign a lineman.
Yeah, and Florida is going to have a couple interior offensive linemen leaving, I believe. So follow his coach to Florida, and then go end up being a first, second rounder next year. All right, you got anybody left, or is that good for you?
Let me see. Like there were guys who like,
five more names here. I think
I noticed. Yeah, I mean, let me just run through them really quick. Charlie Christopher from the Ohio Bobcats, 6'2", 227. He's great in coverage, 88.4. Solid in pass rushing. Now only 28 pass rush snaps, so take that for what it's worth, but only a 4.8 missed tackle rate. Real quick, Joshua Donald, 6'1", 320. Like, how's a guy with that build get no snaps in Appalachian State? So, look, I don't know what he can do. He literally had no chance. But if you're 6'1", 320, I'm at least going to check you out. Jamon Mathis, edge rusher from Kent State, 6'3", 245, 32 pressures, 6 sacks. And only now too many missed tackles for my taste, but a lot of pass rush juice for a team looking to add to that. Noah Flemings, linebacker, 6'4", 250. I'm sorry, like his linebacker numbers say he's a defensive end, but I would send him to Penn State and maybe think about what number I give him, because 53 pass snaps, and he has 8 pressures and 4 sacks. 66 coverage grade and only 4.7 missed tackle rate. And then my last guy is, I'm talking really fast, Colton Fares, another Appalachian State dude, 6'2", 225, 308 coverage snaps and a 86 coverage grade, only 1 TD allowed. As a linebacker, he has 3 interceptions. So you need to go to a Big Ten school, young man. Like, honestly, Oregon is a place that I think you would do well.
All right, so we just gave you like 70 names. And now these are guys that there's little things that we liked. Some are already in the portal. The vast majority are not in the portal right now. And it's like shooting in the dark right now because the portal's open. A lot of guys are going to declare probably between now and probably the holidays. And the portal closes in early January. There's only one window now. There's no spring window.
I think I need to, the portal actually opens January 2nd.
It opens January 2nd?
Yeah, it opens January 2nd. What's happening is people who know they're not going to get an opportunity, they're saying they're going to enter the portal, but they're just doing a solid and saying, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So the official window, now there is a 2-week window, January 2nd through January 16th. So I think one of the things that I want to do on this channel potentially after all of the portal closes and the dominoes have fallen is kind of take some time and pick our favorite, where did they land? Like who we're most excited about, where based off of where they went. but that's what we've got now. So coming up in the future here for us, we plan on talking the bowl game previews and predictions next week, and then we're going to do another one the following week where we talk about our shadow team, and then we won't see you for a few weeks. We're going to take some time off for the holidays. Now we might do some little small shorts or something like that on YouTube or Instagram to talk about bowl games or NFL stuff, things that pop up. But we're going to take a little bit of a break after December 16th. And the plan is to come back on January 6th and recap some of the bowl games that have happened and preview the last little bit of the college football playoff, I believe, that will still happen. Now, that is subject to change. It depends on how we're feeling after the holidays. That could end up not happening. And if it does, we'll make sure we let you know. But, Matt, you got anything for him?
I literally tweeted Lane Kiffin and said, "Hey, dude, Sam Levitt, North Texas State running back, like make this happen." Lane's active on the stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll see. Just trying to help out. What do I need to tell a guy making $13 million? He makes $1 million if Ole Miss makes it to the Natty.
That's wild.
He makes at LSU $1 million if his old team goes to the national championship.
Hey, good for him,
I'm rooting for them regardless. I really want them to win the Natty because I'm already glad they're in, because I was afraid they were going to do to them what they did to Florida State, which would have been a tragedy. Give them a shot. Give them a shot.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's really it for us. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to hit the ground running hard in February, going up to draft season. We do have some potential players and coaches that we had reached out to earlier in the year that said reach back out at the end of the season because they'd be interested in doing some interviews. So hopefully we'll be able to have some more of that stuff coming up. But for Matt and Ryan, thanks for sticking with us today, and catch you next time.